So there's no one else so far, but the appointed time is upon us. So, you know, I might as well start. Thankfully, I get to open up with a bit of housekeeping. As in, a few little things. You know, just a few little things that ought to get done. First things first, okay, I do have control. We are already starting better than we did last week. So, before continuing with the story, I want to land right here, actually land, and I want to pick up a few things. Oh no. You're gonna learn white magic. Or not learn, but use white magic. I'm about to end this first world in Final Fantasy V, and I want to pick up a few things while I'm still here. Mimi, hello, welcome to the stream. I've just gotten started. But before we get to the fun stuff, that being the one set piece that this game is known for, the very iconic set piece, I have to pick up some abilities. Like that. But I don't think that is the right target. Well, still the right ability. Okay, we're gonna have some problems with this guy. There we go. That is the target that I wanted. Ferris, who I believe... Ferris doesn't have learning. Who has learning equipped? Mimi in chat says, I'm drunk, so if I say anything untoward, bot me on ya nose. That's okay, Pit Mimi. I'm gay. I don't think it's possible to say anything untoward towards me. Untowards me. Okay, so Bart's actually was the right target. Bart's is the one with learning. Ferris has got steel. So I prolonged that for nothing. My apologies to my lovely audience. So last week on Final Fantasy V, I had some controller issues, and they are today resolved. I said that I wasn't going to use, or rather I solicited advice on which controller would be best to suit my needs, and then said that I would definitely not use 8-Bit Do's M30, which is basically just a Sega Genesis controller with some shoulder buttons. Today I am using the 8-Bit Do M30. I managed to get it working to a suitable degree, and I've been basically testing it all of last week. So I know it's good, and even if I was having these signal issues that I previously had on this controller, I do have a secret weapon to that would be preventing them. Which I am actually using. It's called a USB cable. Hard to have Bluetooth connectivity issues when you are not connecting the controller using Bluetooth, I should think. So, I have two things to get here in the castle. First is this little back room area. And this lovely fella. Jackanapes is a bit of a tough customer, very high level, and appears in this room. And cannot be slowed. Steady elements you take good damage from. Definitely not that one. Okay, I just gotta get out of here. I do not need to be picking fights against enemies that are that guy. I just don't have to. Pit Mimi says, I'm unsure if my controller is broken or if the heat melted my USBs. Geez, like the heat presently going on in England right now. Is it still hot over there? Heat dome? Or just heat from, you know, having some hot gaming sessions? But I do know what it's like to have some controllers break because of the USB cable having problems. I actually have a SNES controller, which I really liked, but it is pretty much just a wired replica with the wire coming, with a wire coming right out of the controller, and naturally, eventually, it just kind of started to fray, and ladies, I'm having a little bit of a, what you might call problems right now. This guy is beating me up. Okay, I have escaped. With 2 dead party members, but I have escaped to, I've lived to fight another day, as it were. Because now my party members are, once again, alive. But yeah, that whole digression, all of it is to say, Pit Mimi, I feel you. Having a controller you really like not work sucks. It's very unfortunate, and this guy, he just keeps attacking me. Pit Mimi says it was low 20s today with 80% humidity. That is so hot with that humidity. Like, low 20s is like pretty tolerable most of the time. I'm still getting my face kicked in. He keeps sneaking up on me. Okay. Can I somehow haste to make myself run faster? Anything. Okay. I have wiped. Oh no. Okay. I actually started the stream with a setup meant to beat the boss that I had abandoned during the last stream, but then I also ended up kind of just preparing a few notes for things I can do, or I should do before continuing on with the main story. A few missable things, and that's just not happening presently, right this very moment. The setup I created. I still want to keep Len on Beastmaster because I might have to level that up a touch right now. Okay, bards. Do we... hold on a minute. Does anyone have... Oh, okay. That changes things. Okay. Ferris, you will not be a berserker right now. You will continue to be a black mage. And you will be one who can skedaddle. And for good measure, I'm putting you in the back row. No, I'm putting you in the front row, so that you get back rowed by the enemy. Okay. How many shurikens do I have for ninja? 4 shurikens. Okay. Let's try this. Just a slightly different strategy. By that, I mean, I don't want to fight this Jack and Apes guy. Anyways, Pit Mimi in chat said, while I was distracted, apparently London is getting 35 degrees Celsius, which is insane. That does sound ridiculous, Pit Mimi. That does sound completely unhinged for London, which I understand to be a very wet, miserable, cold place. Which I also understand to be very appropriate for London. Okay. Oh, lovely. Oh, that is so much better. Okay, I can deal with this. Alright. Learned speed. 2000 gil. Go this one. Perfect. And just a little further, treasure chest, and I get this lovely, lovely item, which I won't equip it right now. Okay. And then another message that faded out because I missed it. Mimi said, English is so stupid. Present the presents presently. Yes. English is a very special language. Okay. One more daring escape and I am good. Okay, I've survived that. Put Bart's back as the time mage. Give him learning. Ferris can go back to stealing. Appropriate for a pirate. Pirate, let's say it's that. And normally I would continue onwards in Castle Waltz, but I want to save my game first, in case something terrible happens and I have to redo that Jack and Ape section. Because there's no way I want to do that a third time. Okay, so just to confirm, Bards has learning, okay. The way out is here. And this isn't the enemy. Very easy wins here. Which is nice if nothing else. Here's the enemy. Now I just need to wait. I do hope there isn't anything specific I need to do to trigger this. But there is a possibility that I might need to do something specific to trigger this. Meanwhile, please keep me alive, Lena. There we are. There is our... And it does nothing. Well, alright then. I don't want to waste everyone's time too much. Thankfully this one is actually obtainable later on, so I will simply move on. Pitmimi in chat says, my partner offered to get me a Switch 2 today. Are you going to take them up on that offer? Switch 2 is, if you ask me, kind of great. It's a really, really good machine, and especially because I was on a Nintendo Switch Lite, it is definitely a great upgrade. It turns out I actually kind of like being able to play it on the television sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. You know, especially Korvax. You know, she does like watching me play games, which is why I... one of the reasons why I stream every week is so that she can watch me play games. And so, you know, for me that's been very nice. But also, so many Switch 1 games are just so much better on Switch 2. Animal Crossing, Hyrule Warriors, those are two games that are just like absolutely incredible in terms of just how good they work on Switch 2. Hyrule Warriors in particular is a totally different experience. Mimi in chat says, I've got 2 games for my Switch, I don't need another Switch. Well, I guess that's true, I don't know. It is kind of expensive. If you're me and you have about 10 games for your Switch, it's definitely a worthwhile upgrade. Especially if Nintendo keeps bringing out the next-gen free patches for their games that just give like resolution and performance bumps. It's going to be very nice. Okay, let's bring my notes back up. Okay, my next stop is this library. Apparently there's an enemy that has something. Well, apparently certain blue magic is obtainable here. I'm just gonna run around like this. Actually, that's too slow. I'm going to run around like this. Whoa, hold up. I shouldn't back out of that right away. I should maintain my... one moment. Hold on a minute. You, Elven Mantle. Oh, you don't automatically equip. That's unfortunate. Still, I do actually want to use you. Elven Mantle is one of the best accessories in Final Fantasy V. It gives me a very nice chance to dodge and makes my magic better. Which is nice, you know, if you have a magically oriented character. Okay, there we go. Korvax in chat says, maybe in the future if there's something Switch 2 exclusive that you want. Yeah, I mean, it's Nintendo. Nintendo does put out great exclusive game experiences. Pitmimi in chat says, I don't see that happening though. I only got Switch 1 for Animal Crossing and then couldn't afford anything else. I mean, it's rumored that Animal Crossing is coming sooner rather than later, especially given the wild success of New Horizons. Let's speed up the enemy. Moon Flute. There's another ability we want. It makes everyone angry. It just makes the entire party berserk. What's amusing about Moon Flute is that it is sort of unique among all blue magics in that the version used by enemies is different than the version used by the party. When the enemies use it, it makes your entire party go berserk. When you use it, it makes the entire party go berserk. You can't use it on enemies, but enemies can use it on you. Which is, it's a little frustrating. Corvax in chat says, I like most Nintendo games, so it's never not worth it for me to get their console. But if you don't care much for the first party titles, then it's not really worth it. Yeah, I mean, that's very much the Nintendo Premium. Okay, this is how I make the bookshelf go back. And then I just go this way. Yes, I go there. And then into the, oh, I just move it out of the way. Corvax in chat says, speed reading. And then, gaming is unfortunately a very expensive hobby and it's a real bummer. Yes, especially if you want the cream of the crop, the very, very best video gameplay experiences. Mimi says, I used to be really into Pokemon before they priced me out. That is very unfortunate, Pit Mimi. I will say that Pokemon's pricing is kind of actually maybe a little bit better now on Switch than it was on Nintendo 3DS, because they would release the same game like 2 years later with a few tiny little changes and then charge full price for it. Granted, it would be 3DS full price, so that would be like, you know, 50 Canadian dollars, probably 40 pounds over there across the pond in the Englands. But nonetheless, whereas now it's like the base games are more expensive, but you're only gonna be buying them like every other year maybe. And then on off years it's just like DLC, which makes the game so much bigger. You know. Which I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you do have the opportunity, do check out Pokemon. I think Pokemon on Switch is the best it's ever been. Even Scarlet and Violet. Even before they got the Nintendo Switch 2 patch, which made the game 60 frames per second. Like, I think the games have been that good on Switch. Mimi in chat says, I'll get the Switch Pokemons eventually, maybe after a decade. Oof. I don't think they'll be, on discount in a decade. They're probably still gonna be at the same price. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Okay. Let's try another battle. Black Flame, this is the enemy I want. Let's speed one of them up to get the ability faster. That's probably how it works. Corvax in chat says, at Pit Mimi, you should really try Legends Arceus, at least. It's really interesting to have a Pokemon game with a different formula to it. Yes, Pit Mimi, if you've ever played Monster Hunter, that game is basically Monster Hunter. Okay, so we did see the ability I'm trying to pick up here, but it's not being used on the party member that I want it to be used on. Pimimi says, oh, the DLC don't come on a physical cart, do they? I know at least for Scarlet and Violet, that is also not the right party member to use it on. I know for Scarlet and Violet, they did release a different edition of that game with the teal mask, so that's the first DLC, bundled in, and you would get the second DLC for free when it released. They probably have a version released now that is, okay, come on, please, Darkspark Bartz, not my other two. So yeah, you might be able to find in stores more expensive Scarlet and Violet with the DLC bundled in, if that's what you want. Pimimi says, oh, that's good. I worry about these things disappearing. I understand the worry. I will say that there is absolutely no precedent for these things disappearing. All of the servers for the stores in... okay, everyone's run out of MP here, so I've got to kill these guys and try again. All of the servers for the stores for PS3, PSP, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the Wii shop and DSiWare shop, they're still up. If you've purchased anything, you can still download them on like all of these old consoles. Not a single service provider has dared to take down the re-download servers because they know that they're probably going to get dragged in front of some lawmaker committees if they do, because it will be controversial. So, especially because Nintendo Switch 2 uses all of the same infrastructure as Nintendo Switch 1, I think for now, there is nothing to worry about. That said, again, for Pokemon, you can actually buy the games with the DLC physically on the cartridge. So, you know, that's a consideration. Now, I know I'm looking for a specific enemy and they're not here, but so, you know, normally I would be running, but I do kind of want to level up Lena, her Beastmaster job, in case it's necessary. But also, I do want to not take too long with this. It's a bit of a balancing act. Pitmimi in chat simply says, good. Yes, it is good that people can still re-download the things that they've purchased. Okay, I'm just gonna move on. I'm already half an hour into the stream, and I am no closer to that battle on the big bridge that I did promise. And I would like to see that today, because it's cool. I have overshot my destination. It is up here. Okay. Let's put Lena on another one of the jobs that Galif had. We want Summoner. And White Magic on the side. And then optimize, get the Elven Mantle there. Ferris and Bartz are good. So last time on Final Fantasy V, I wiped to the upcoming boss battle. This time, I'm going to destroy them, hopefully. Corvax in chat says, it feels like a slog as Steam, it feels like as long as Steam doesn't do anything crummy like that, then it kind of sets a precedence too. I mean, Steam has literally been the same service running since 2004, right? That is 21 years of the same service. Okay. Bartz isn't attacking in this fight, he is just hasting. Lena is just going to be... That is not the one I wanted to summon. I wanted to summon Shiva. What? That's not right. He took damage from that. Why did the fire enemy take damage from the fire attack summon? What? Corvax in chat asks, are they took more damage than... Okay, now I need to... Alright, how much does Diamond Dust do? I need to know this. Corvax in chat says, are they not supposed to take fire damage? Okay, so Shiva does do a tiny bit more damage, it looks like. Korvac says these are special versions, maybe. Yes, they are different enemies from the bomb that I can encounter elsewhere, right? These are Purobolos. I guess these ones just are allowed to take fire damage and not take fire, get healed by the attack damage. Himimi in chat says, I remember getting so mad that the copy of Portal I bought at the game shop linked itself to my ex's Steam account. Oof. My physical cartridge of Animal Crossing New Leaf is linked to my ex took it after leaving. So I hear you, Pitmimi. I sympathize with what you have shared. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. Okay, hold on a minute. I can... Okay, can I silence you? Yes, okay, alright. Okay, I was about to have a bit of a problem, but the problem is solved. I have solved the little bit of a problem. Normally the way Purobolos works is that it tries to cast a rise on all of the enemies when it dies. If any of its friends have died, they get revived at full HP. The way you're supposed to deal with them is to just throw area of effect magic and kill them all at the same time. I failed to do that there, but thankfully you can silence them to prevent them from waking up their dead friends. So, mission accomplished. Okay. No, that's not, I want Gaia. And I want the Elven Mantle. And I don't want the Healing Staff. That is annoying to deal with. Okay, I'm going to take a very well-deserved save from that. Pitmimi in chat says, another ex took all my Xbox 360 DLCs because I didn't realize he could transfer the license to another hard disk drive. That is rough, Pitmimi. Oh my goodness, that is rough. What the... That's kind of ridiculous. And kind of evil. Not very nice. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Pitmimi. I guess we're commiserating on lost games. My family back home threw away all my Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. I miss my physical copy of Pokemon Sapphire. That's all I wanted to share. I had some other games too. I had Friends of Mineral Town, Harvest Moon. I had Leaf Green. I did not have Emerald. I have Titan. I'm getting attacked by Titan now. Okay. Can I slow down the Titan? I can slow down the Titan. Pitmimi in chat says, he got mad that I kept the collector's editions of the 360 games, but disregard him. Yes, I agree, Pitmimi. Disregard him. Oh, stalactite. I love how hard stalactite hits. It hits harder than anything else I can do right now. Why do people think that the Geomancer is a bad class? But also, Pitmimi, I'm surprised just to hear you say that you got mad. I thought the correct Britishism was to say, you are cross with him. Oh. Okay. Well, that's not an ideal way to win, but I did win. As long as I have one party member alive, I'm okay with that. Because I do still get the summoned monster Titan out of that, which is nice. And now, because I did one meteorite before, during the last stream of Final Fantasy V, and I've done 2 more this stream, that leaves us with just 1. That's mathematics. So we're nearly home free. Mimi says, Cross is a little PO'd. I was more than a little PO'd. Oh, interesting, interesting. So Cross is just like, you know, like, yeah, I think I understand. So is there a Britishism for being very PO'd then? I guess that's the question you're begging. Corvax in chat says, on a semi-related note, I used my mom's credit card to buy my first Steam game, Portal, for like $20 in 2008 or so. That'd be like a $40 game nowadays. And our crappy computer could not run it. Didn't get to play it until 7 years later when we got a better family computer. Oh my god, Corvax. Oh my goodness. Was there not a demo available at the time for Portal? Mid and Sid have been gotten by the Manticore. Shoutouts to Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. I doubt either of you will know that reference, but, you know, I see the word Manticore and I just think of them. Corvax in chat says, I don't remember there being a demo for Portal. That is unfortunate. Okay, that's good damage. That is less than good damage. Corvax in chat says, but also consider I was and am stupid. I mean, I wouldn't say you're... I would say it's easy to make certain mistakes. That's how I would phrase it. You know. Pitmimi in chat says, you'd be cross at the cat for puking on the shoes. Okay, that's fair. I would be cross at the cat for puking on the shoes. But you'd be PO'd at your partner urinating on the living room rug. Thankfully, I don't really have to worry about that. The hyper-specific concern, which, you know, because you bring it up, I have to assume comes from experience, which, if that's the case, I'm sorry, Pitmimi, that, he just healed the enemy. Ooh, Corvax, that's a good question. Pitmimi, where does Mift fit in? Okay. Can I get something other than Ignis, Fatuous, or whatever it is? And also, I'm gonna regen myself. Corvax then asks, is Mift a British thing? I don't know. Sounds British-ish. I hear it and I think that's kind of... I could hear someone with an English accent say that, like, phrase. Pitmimi in chat says, you'd be a bit miffed if, like, you wanted to go for a walk, but it's pouring raining. Oh, interesting. I keep hitting Gaia accidentally. That one just automatically executes when, Okay, I'm just gonna slap him with my knife. Same deal here, I just want to focus on not dying to another Aqua Breath. Yes, Pitmimi, I concur with what Corvax just said. Your mean and rude exes are just... I'm glad you are no longer with them. That's what I say. Okay, up and out of Ferris. I don't want you to die again. That was a funny running joke for one stream. Okay. Can I toad him or something? No? Okay. So, yes, that's what I want to see. Lovely. Still doesn't kill the boss, though. Okay, I think I need Bartz to be on something a bit heavier duty than Time Mage. Not that this even matters, this is literally the last boss before I move on to the next world. And that was the last boss before I move on to the next world. It's an interesting hierarchy of anger. Very interesting. But I'm sure, depending on who you ask, they would have different responses as well. Right, Pit Mimi? A lot of these are individual kind of understandings based on lifetimes of, you know, experiencing language in this way. Yes, okay. I actually opened the map and saw the portal was already there. Alright. 40 minutes into the stream, and I am ready to... Huh, that tent doesn't fully restore Lena's MP. Well, that's enough MP. Time to portal, one-way trip to Galif's world. Everyone is totally ready to abandon this world where they have no more family left. To go save the old man who showed up right at the start of the game. And Bart says, "Don't get in trouble while I'm gone, Boko." As if Boko could hear him. Unfortunately, Boko cannot hear Bartz. Boko is going to get into a lot of trouble, I'm certain. Mimi in chat says, if you are more than PO'd, you'd be livid. Livid. That is such a lovely word, because I don't really feel the urge to censor that one when I speak in this stream. It's just, you know, a very strong kind of anger. What if you said, "I'm angry"? Where would that one land you? Or how about, I feel ire. You need to think, Pit Mimi, don't you? And as you both saw just there just now, that's more like it, I can't do anything on this island. I managed to land it at exactly the wrong place, here on Galif's world. And Ferris says, "Lena, there's something I've been wondering about. It was way back when you were on North Mountain. Why do you risk your life just to save that wind drake?" And Lena says, "Sister, do you remember Mother?" "Eh? A little," says Ferris. Lena says, "Whenever I hear you, I'm reminded of her." Ferris asks, "How do you mean?" Uh-oh. Monster! And the two girls have been grabbed. And I forgot to switch Bartz over to a different class, so he is definitely not going to be winning this battle. Pimimi says, I'd say PO'd and angry are on the same level. That's interesting. It kind of makes sense, though. Corvax says, grabbed by the ghoulies? I was just thinking of that, and I've never even played that game. And I feel no compulsion to play that game, even though I do actually own it, because I own Rare Replay. It is one of 2 Xbox One games that I own. Pimimi that says, then again, that also means drunk. Ah, yes. And we awaken in the clutches of the evil Lord X Death. We have a huge mirror here. What's it for, I wonder? Cryo says, Grandpa, look. Gallop says, Bart's Lena Ferris, what in blazes is going on? Their image is being projected into the sky. X-Death is sending a warning to Gallop. I have your friends. One more step and they die. Uh-oh. Seems I've, maybe made things a little bit worse by coming here, after Gallop specifically instructed me not to. And X-Death says, Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh says, Sir! I'm going to keep this image on screen for a moment because I know Corvax has actually never seen Gilgamesh artwork. So that's all, Corvax. Just enjoy it. It's very Gilgamesh. X-Death says, watch them. See that they don't try anything. And Bart says, X-Death, you... And X-Death, of course, punishes Bart's heavily by choosing violence, because that's what X-Death is. X-Death is violence. It seems like Gallop and Kryl have their own Windrake. And it looks like Gallop is gonna take it. Now, to get to the chat messages I've been missing, Corvax in chat says there are many words people use to mean drunk that I just end up guessing by context clues. That's kind of how language works, Corvax. Pimimi says true, plus it varies by region. Corvax says it really does. Bridge ahead. Oh, she is commenting on the game. Yes, Corvax, bridge ahead. And then Pimimi says, there's a very English phrase that I'd say IRL, but never on the internet. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess if you want to, you could kind of explain it right here, now. You know. But also, I will say, like, on the internet, I do get, like, a fair bit, exposed to Brits, you know, just, using Britishisms. Ah, yes, Pimimi. I actually do understand. I do understand exactly what you mean. Somewhat amusingly. But yes, that is not a phrase you'd want to use on, especially on Americanized internet. I think I've taken the wrong left at Albuquerque. I don't think this is the right area. Okay, no, this is the right area. But yes, Pimimi, that phrase actually requires no explanation. I think here in Canada, you'd probably say, hey there, bod, you got a dart? You know, because dart is kind of the slang term that we use for a tobacco cigarette. Okay, I'm pulling out the big guns. Big summon. Yes, Pit Mimi, dart. And here we have Gilgamesh, our very first battle with him. Oof. That smarts a little bit. Pit Mimi asks, where does that come from? I have no idea. I'm not a linguist. I'm not familiar with the history of various Canadianisms, and I'm kind of hurting. Korvac says there are idiots here that would use the F word derogatorily, and when you'd call them out, they would be like, "It just means cigarette." Yeah. Unfortunately, there is like kind of like knowledge of like. Because, like, I mean, I saw you, like, say that in chat and, like, instantly knew you meant a cigarette. But, like, that is not at all the first word that people would use for a cigarette. You know, they would just use it if they want to be edgy. Korvac says, I've never heard anyone call a cigarette a dart, but I know that it is a term for it. Mimi says it's more common for people to say ciggy in the northwest of England, or northwest of Great Britain. You'd probably be northwest of England. England, yeah. No, that's kind of what I thought. I understand that there's very much a kind of conceptual divide between England and Scotland, even though they are supposed to have been, you know, united for some time now. I understand that's not how it works, especially when one of the parties is, you know, England. Okay. For the time being, I'm putting Bartz on night duty. Because this is just ridiculous. And I actually don't think I need to... Yeah, I'm just gonna put Galif on summon. Okay. Alright, I like the look of this. And then Pit Mimi in chat says that in the south of England, it is still very much that term for a tobacco cigarette. Whoa, better not let them see. Tiny little sneaking segment. Shoutouts to Deltarune, because it means nothing. Well, I guess in Deltarune, the similar segment I'm thinking of actually does, you know, do something. I guess I just wanted to really say shoutouts to Deltarune, or more like I was reminded of Deltarune. I didn't need to use that. I had there's healing water right behind me. Oh wow. Perfect. I don't believe you're conflating with another word. Yep. Don't you just love how that Geomancer can just clear out enemies? Yes, Corvax, you are correct. I am being quiet for music reasons. As you pointed out in chat, it's weird how Nobuo Uematsu hates this track because it's awesome. It's just such a good track for such a cool set piece. I mean, you're just running up the entire time, but, you know, to go from a dire situation to just this, it's very fun. Pitmimi says, boo, my earphones are out of sync. Oof, I'm so sorry, Pitmimi. I still hope you can enjoy the music, even if it's not properly synchronized with, you know, what you might be seeing on screen. But anyways, enough words. It's time for battle number 2 against Gilgamesh. Let's just go for it. Love that big damage. Here we have a steal. That is a hero cocktail. Okay. Well, that is nothing. Okay. Well, let's just slow him down then. I know you're supposed to steal from him, but I guess this one is just you don't need to steal anything. Pitmimi says I took one ear out so I don't get the echo. Echo? Oh. That sucks. Okay, yeah, let's just set him on Fyra. Pitmimi says old video game music is so creative. Yes, I mean, you know, when you don't have a lot of sound to work with, you know, just have to use techniques to make your music work best. And I mean, I think in the case of like Final Fantasy, it really benefited from that. But also, I would say that in the case of a lot of like really classic, like for a lot of classic game composers, they benefited from cutting their teeth on very, very limited tech, because it means, you know, they could focus on getting like the fundamentals, like good memorable hooks and melodies and like leitmotifs. Like they could focus on doing those. And then once technology kind of continued to advance and they you know, had access to more stuff, they're not just throwing out like string quartets and like orchestras left and right. They're very focused, and I should continue hastening my party. What am I doing? I'm gusting Gilgamesh, that's what I'm doing. Corvax in chat says, SNES music is so good, especially IMO. Yeah. Fighting all 4 of you. Oh, I should say what he said. Gilgamesh says, I misjudged. Fighting all 4 of you is too much for me. Not, I lied, haha. And then I actually missed the last little bit. Oh wow. Oh, thankfully that electrocute did nothing. Pitmimi says, I have big respect for game music composers. Yes, especially game music composers who can write something like this, where it's just like, you hear it a few times and then it's just seared into your brain because of how catchy it is, right? Writing music is like easier than writing catchy music that a normal person can remember and enjoy and appreciate. Oh, I've got a little bit less damage, but that's okay. Actually, before I haste my last party member, slow down, would you? You can't slow down. Okay. Wow, it even affects my geomancy. That's unfortunate. Oh, alright. Okay, Mimi says, I'm gonna resync real quick. That's fine, Mimi. I hope you end up more synchronized after you reload. Korvac says, not that NES music was bad, just with the additional sound capacity of the SNES was able to make such memorable music. especially when you're able to make very distinct music, where it's not just, you know, square waves and triangle waves and white noise. You can actually have, you know, instruments. You can have trumpets and bass and drums, although many NES games did have drums. I don't need time magic anymore. I can just ancient sword. Pitmimi is back and says much better. I'm glad, Pitmimi. I'm glad that it's much better. Okay. What if I just steal from you again? Pitmimi says Bluetooth is inferior. Bluetooth is kind of rough. Korvac says, just thinking of Earthbound, how those tracks are kind of insane. Yeah, I mean, it's especially funny, again, you know, bringing up Deltarune. There is one track in the latest chapters where it uses samples pulled straight out of Earthbound, and it sounds like it's tracks straight out of Earthbound, but I know for a fact isn't, you know, Earthbound, because I know that game's soundtrack. And it's just like, just using the exact sound samples that a different game used is enough to make me, like, specifically think of a specific video game, which was, you know, an inspiration for a different video game. Okay, it's elixir time. I want MP. Mimi says my wired headphones never desync. That is really weird because Bluetooth, the protocols should have stuff for synchronizing things. And then Gilgamesh says, goodness gracious, I just remembered something, and skedaddles. So, not dead yet, Gilgamesh. Oh, okay. Well, that was easy enough. Whoop. I'm not liking how my HP looks, so let's heal a little bit. Karlak says, I have to use wired or my laptop because my Bluetooth ones just refuse to work. Also weird. Like, for a long time, there's been a meme about how audio doesn't work on Linux, and then here I am, streaming this game on Linux, using a pretty easy-to-do sound setup that prevents all my Discord notifications from producing audio on the stream. And also, I am listening to the game audio through a Bluetooth, a pair of Bluetooth headphones. I don't know. Technology is just really stupid. And then Kryle's right here and warns Galuf of the barrier, which we can see here is emanating from Galuf's castle. Not from Galuf's castle. That is not Galuf's castle, that is Exdef's castle. And my party has been yeeted. And Kryle is very sad about losing her grandpa again. Because he did sort of, you know, leave his home planet to go to a different home planet. No, different planet, not his home planet. In order to clean up a mess he made 30 years ago. Ferris asks, any idea where this is? Gal says, yeah, this has got to be Glossiania. The back of Beyond. Crawling with monsters too. Fears we'd be thrown someplace like this. Uh-oh. Bart says, Galuf, sorry about all this. I mean, we came to help you, but you ended up helping us. Galuf says, as usual. I meant it, you know. You really didn't have to come. Meddlesome bums, the lot of you. He really is an old man. And then he says, still, it's good to see you again. Oh. And then it looks like in chat we just have discussion on headphones and how they don't work right. Is what it sounds like. Corvax, you're not wanting to have a smartphone. Why am I using slow? I do not need to use time magic in a normal battle. I should just be attacking. What am I doing? Your desire not to have a smartphone is reminding me once again of the rotary cell phone. Unfortunately, I think it's a bit too expensive for me. But it looks so cool. I think what I would genuinely like is to just have a laptop computer that has a SIM card slot. Even if I have to just open it up to insert a SIM card, I would gladly do it. Oh, he halved his own level. Well, that's funny. Into the bottomless bog you go. Okay, well, that's one way through. I can't go that way, I think. Maybe that was the way forward. Yeah, because, I mean, laptops, especially if you're not on Windows, aren't getting... just having a whole bunch of stupid lie machines shoved into them. Again, especially if it's me and I'm using Linux. Because it's just... like, I barely use my cell phone because I don't want to deal with, you know, Samsung deciding to just change stuff whenever they want, and I can't do anything about it. And also they're adding a bunch of, you know, AI garbage. No, that is an advertising term. They're adding a gaslighter that gaslights you to everything. That's what it is, yes. Okay, I'm a bit on thin grass right now. Enemy's looking kind of... my HP is looking kind of rough. Korvac says, speaking of the lying machine, however, I can't believe how many questions on Reddit are just answered by people saying, I asked ChatGPT, or just ask ChatGPT. It's incredible too, because once you understand that a large language model is just a statistical model of what the most likely next word would be in a sequence of words, it's like, oh no, like, you can just understand that a large language model mathematically cannot contain any knowledge. It's just a model of like what words are likely to come next in a sentence based on its training data. That's nothing, right? A worm is more capable of possessing knowledge than a lying machine. But people just talk to the lying machine and then develop psychosis, it seems. I don't know. I'm glad to just be a kind of a hermit who doesn't have to hear people talk in person about how much they love ChatGPT or whatever. Gorax in chat then says, I understand how lying machine, tools can help with certain tasks. They actually can't. But I cannot understand how an LLM has any value. Because it doesn't. It doesn't have any value. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Pimimi says it can be used for good, like in checking medical scans. You would need to use an AI model, a machine learning model specifically trained on medical scans. And even then, like, you have to be very careful because the way machine learning works, because it's not possible to actually understand the resulting model of a machine learning algorithm, it's very difficult to trust because you can't audit it. You can't audit a machine learning model. So, you know, certain like studies that show that I want this, and I want some other stuff too. Do I have things I can sell? Dinky Dagger, that's nothing. Longsword, that's nothing. Mithril, actually Warhammer, hold on a minute. Okay, I won't touch the Warhammer right now. Leather shield, bronze shield, iron shield, mithril shield I think is the best I have. I have literally more leather caps than my party can even wear. But I'm actually, oh well. I just have to roll with that. I sold them, that's it. And, okay, let's call it that. Pimimi says the final stage should always be a human. See, again, the thing is, if you deploy machine learning models, people will get complacent and they will basically just always defer to the machine learning model, even if it like misses something blatant. Because like they just get so used to relying on them. It's a very, very dangerous game to play, and like if you ask me, we shouldn't. And I should have stayed there to buy the other weapons that I wanted. Korvac says the use of AI tools is only useful if you have a human looking afterwards. And again, I just addressed that, why that's not a terribly good idea a lot of the time. Okay, let's look here. Let's get a new one of those. And I guess we can get one of these. Let's put the party on some new jobs. And by new, I mean existing jobs. Let's put Gallup back on Sing. Okay. Back on Bard, I mean. Nope, I don't want her to be a Dragoon. I think it's funnier if Lena is a Samurai. I think I'll have Ferris be the Dragoon. And we'll have Bartz be the Ranger. With time magic, I like that. Korvac says, I had to talk to an AI on the phone last week and it insisted on giving me an email address that was for the company's internal use only. Yeah, that is so ridiculous. Korvax then says, I had to call them 4 times and on my last call I was rude to it and said I just want to speak to a real human. Like, it's incredible to think just how much money is going to be wasted by these things. Time and money. All in the name of increasing efficiency, which it's not going to do because it can't. There's no piano here, and I don't want to dance. Korvax then says it took them about 5 minutes to get me the info I needed, whereas I wasted a good 30 minutes on the AI call screener. Yeah. No, that's just bad. Oh, okay, apparently I can walk into that. The innkeeper says, this one's on the house. Well, isn't that lovely? Pimimi says, I can't be replaced by the lying machine. Pimimi, nobody can be replaced by the lying machine. Large language models, which is most of what is being deployed under that guise, cannot replace anybody because they can't reason. They can't have knowledge. They are just a statistical model of what that outputs the most likely word, next word, to add to a series of words. Whoop, Korvax, we have a murder victim who has just walked into the chat. Thank you, Korvax. See, I can't be replaced because I'm unemployed, because the tech industry, which is my industry of choice because I have a computer science degree, treats their most productive workers with a particular kind of fervor. Basically, they paid for a U.S. administration that would specifically, in the hopes to eradicate their most productive workers. You know, because that's what the tech industry is. Korvax says, it's understandable wanting to have this new technology automate some menial tasks, but at this point in time, humans are just the ones getting shafted. Losing their jobs, are getting, you know, screwed over and having their time wasted. Korvax says, I could be replaced technically. No, you couldn't. A large language model could not do your job, and could never do your job. No amount of labor hours put into refining a large language model could help it become better than you at your job. Korvax says, I feel like the tech bros would try. The tech bros literally think, they believe sincerely that ChatGPT is sentient and intelligent. And again, these people should understand that a statistical model of language cannot be intelligent because it's just a model. Mimi says, until robots are better, I'm employed. Here's a little secret straight from someone who, you know, used to work in the tech industry and may once again work in the tech industry. We will never have general purpose, sentient, human level intelligent AI. It is never going to happen, ever. Because we are not capable of building it. Because the people who rise up in, you know, the tech industry are fundamentally incompetent. They cannot build anything. They can barely do anything. There's a cool castle here. I'm not going to go inside. There's nothing valuable inside it in there for me. Yeah. Artificial intelligence is never going to happen, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Can I control you? That's why I wanted to equip control. I can't control you right now. Maybe later. Korvax says, quote, AI is not real, but it's going to ruin everything anyways, end quote. Paraphrase title of an informative YouTube video I watched a while ago. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe of where we might be headed, is corporations are going to, you know, just use these things as an excuse to just make everything so much worse. And do I have learning on someone? I hope I do. Oh goody, I don't. I don't need time magic for normal battles right now. I can unequip that. Okay, let's try that again. Pimimi says the only robot that is okay is that cat that one that brings food to tables. That's kind of true, Pimimi. That's an okay robot. Korvac says robots in general are fine, I think, as long as they are programmed directly and not just like given some weird model to follow and then they accidentally dismember someone. Yeah, that's what we're doing with what tech bros stubbornly insist on calling self-driving cars. And it's bad. These things are going to become street legal because the tech bros, you know, in the industry have optimized themselves for their ability to be convincing as opposed to their ability to say true things. And they're going to convince lawmakers, because they've already convinced lawmakers, to make these robots completely legal. Like, these are people who have no qualms against falsifying you know, testing data or just doing things that make it look like these things are safe. Because these things are going to always, like, systematically fail in circumstances that a human could never fail. And it's going to be impossible to train them or add proper equipment to have them be able to drive on the level of a human because there is no intelligence that goes into these things. Are we talking about a cute robot in chat? Cute little cat that brings you food. Bellabot. Very cute. I guess I can just kind of... Yeah, okay. Let's put him back on the time magic for now. Still learning, I suppose. Because I did just obtain level 4 magics, and for most of these characters... oh, actually, on that one I can do level 4. I can do level 3 summons. I do eventually want to, you know, be able to use the magic I just got. But anyways, here we have... Kupo! Gal says, what's a Moogle doing in a place like this? Bart says, Moogle? Gal says, strange little critters that live in the forest. They're pretty timid though, so you don't often see, you don't see them that often. And Lena says, let's help it. Yes, Korvax, the tech bros have reinvented mass transit, but worse. And they're going to convince cities to get rid of their existing mass transit infrastructure to implement mass transit, but worse. Because, you know, politicians can somehow be convinced that wasting taxpayer money is better than spending taxpayer money on providing services. Which is to say, Pit Mimi, you are correct. That is, in fact, a waste of petrol. Yeah, it's just, it's not, it's bad. But yes, Korvax in chat says, Moogle. Yes, Final Fantasy V is the first game in the Final Fantasy series to introduce Moogles, which are, you know, now a total staple of the series. You know, they've been in pretty much every Final Fantasy since then. And why wouldn't they be? They're adorable. Pimimi in chat says, we shouldn't be wasting the dinosaur juice. Ideally, we shouldn't even be using the dinosaur juice, because it brings with it consequences. Korak says, need more trains, and then we put the Ubers on the track and run them all over. That sounds good. I'm down with that. Huh. The enemy using vampire on itself just heals itself. That's perverse. Yeah, I think it's fair of me to describe that as perverse. More than that, though, it's just weird. Pimimi says the trolley puzzle, but with Ubers. If I was facing the trolley problem and I had on one track a whole bunch of innocent people and another track a whole bunch of self-driving vehicles and their CEOs, oh, that would be the easiest trolley problem. Pimimi says 1 bus versus 12 Ubers. Yeah. No. I hope in England that the tech bros manage never to convince your politicians to adopt self-driving, so-called self-driving automobiles. Because that would be a disaster. Nope. Cormac says, is that legal in Canada? I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to get in. Although, in all honesty, like, there's a reason why they've mostly been focusing on certain cities in the... Pimmy, that cyber tanks are banned here too. I wish they were banned here. Every single car on the street is basically a tank. Just a massive truck. You know, station wagons and cars are basically a thing of the past now. And it's stupid. Because, and the terrible part is that people want to get, you know, big trucks because they say, well, everyone else is driving a big truck now and I want to be safe on the road because I don't want to get, you know, my car crushed by one of these big trucks. So it's basically like an arms race. A vehicular arms race for just driving on the road. It is completely unhinged and, like, we just let it happen. All because car companies wanted to skirt by a specific US regulation. It's depressing. Oh my goodness, I love water. Pimimi says someone imported one, drove it to the petrol station for ciggies, and got it taken by the police instantly. That'd be really weird because from what I understand, the UK must love Elon Musk because literally everything he does is driven by transmisogyny. So I'm surprised to hear that the coppers would you know, confiscate something like that. Is that the term, Pitmimi? Coppers? Because you'd say coppas, but you know. Pitmimi says, "Yee." I assume you mean about coppas. Or bobbies. Oh yes, bobbies! Roberts, of course! Corvax says, the fuzz, we watched the movie. Hot fuzz, specifically, Corvax means. Corvax, I think, like, we should go on a marathon of Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and World's End. Maybe we do that tomorrow. Or Monday. Mimi says the Scouse term is busies. Scouse. Scouse? Like Scottish? Pimimi says Scouse is Liverpool English. Oh, the Beatles. Okay, I understand now. That's very simple once you've explained it like that, Pimimi. Okay, I'm just gonna have to have one attack here. She has no good options. Corvax in chat says, this might not be something you know, Mimi, but I'll ask anyways. And then doesn't ask. I'm waiting to hear the question, Corvax. Not to put pressure on you. Here we are. I can't remember if it's the Netherlands or what, but there's somewhere in Europe where kids call cops uncle as a term of endearment, and I want to know if that's BS. That'd be good to know, because that sounds, terrifying? Harrowing? Awful? All of those things. Ah, Pimimi will ask the Europeans. It'll be interesting to know, Pimimi. Okay. Let's get some magic attacks on these characters. These battles are taking too long. Yeah, okay, this is fine. Corvax says, might be a country where police brutality is on the lower end, I guess. I would hope so, because that would make it even worse. Corvax says, all good if nothing comes up. It's like, this is one of those situations where it's like, do I want to know? Because if the answer is yes, then that would just be like, I don't know. Oh, Discord drama. Yes, I found myself kicked out of a few Discords after a relationship fell apart. She was in Brazil, he was in the Netherlands. It was a long shot. Ah. It definitely does sound rough, Corvax. I concur with the sentiment you've just shared. Corvax says, I don't know how people can do long distance for years. No better prospects? I suppose? Pimimi says, my best friend is married to an American. Oh no. Corvax says, Dot and I kind of did, quote, long distance for a few months and it was difficult. Yeah, we lived in the same city, but It was 2020. Wing attack? That's a weak attack. It's got a base power of like 35 or something. Okay, I've got to pull out the big guns now because this is Pitmimi says my friend lives in England. But what of the American? Mimi says, and because it's a gay marriage, they fear the US government won't let him move there. Oh. So... And I guess the other one doesn't want to move to England? Because, I mean... If J.K. Rowling has her way with England, gay rights are next. Mimi says he works in pharmaceuticals, so it'll be hard to get a job here. Oof. Oh, that's rough. Okay, what hurts most? That hurts enough, good. Yeah, that other way was not the way to go. And Alana says, be careful, Mr. Moogle. Moogle says, Kupo Kupo. I've just recovered, but I am low on the magic power. I don't have any ethers. Okay, well, this is a double elixir moment. And here's the human skeleton. Just kidding, it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton. Final Fantasy V is that kind of game. Okay, good, that's big damage. I like to see big damage. Okay. Haste Barts first. Make your time, magic user. Go fast. I wonder. Bone guy, are you undead? Well then, don't mind if I do. That does nothing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Corvax, it's hard to move to any country if you don't have a job offer. And I don't know how much pharmaceuticals we have going on here in Canada. Okay, well, let's revive the enemy. Does nothing. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Alright, let's make my white mage go faster. And let's counteract the poison with a little bit of regeneration. Corvax in chat says, it's so funny when RPGs have weird monster things and then they just have a real-ass animal. To be fair, this one is just the skeleton, but the point still stands. Yeah, it is kind of funny. Okay, that does nothing. Uh-oh. I appear to be in a bit of a pickle, as they would say. Okay, I'm in a serious pickle now. I might even be in a jam. Okay, items. High potion. Bart's, please heal. Okay. We are ever so slightly back. Okay. Ferris, you get up too. Okay, that's fine, but we won't kill Bart's now. Okay. I forget if I slowed down the boss. I did not. The boss is slowed down now. Okay, this is going to be much easier to deal with. I should not be death looping anymore. Okay. Korvac says, is there a fantasy RPG where you fight earth animals but the player characters aren't humans, earthlings? That would be kind of interesting, and my party member's kind of dead. Oh goodness, this isn't good. Okay, big heals on everyone. I wish I had more. Let's see what Romeo's Ballad does in this situation. Nothing. Good, okay. Let's yump away. Because that will be someone taking a bit less damage. And I'm going to be using another elixir. It's funny how much more I use these things when I'm streaming, because I just don't want to party wipe against the boss, because I want to, you know, not have to show the same boss fight again. And by the same boss fight, I mean the same dungeon, because there was no save point there. Pitmini in chat says Mog is licking her back and it makes her look so spherical. Aw, that's adorable. Wow, it didn't heal Ferris. I guess because she was in the air when I was selecting everybody. That's silly. Uh-oh. Okay, well everyone survived that, which is good. Okay, let's go faster. Korvac says, oh no, no diring, and then drops a word that I will not repeat here, and then says dying. Yeah, no dying. Oh no, I died again. Okay. Okay. Let's get back up again, please. Korvac says, what did I just say? I know. Okay, it's never not funny when I revive a character and then they just immediately get killed again by the boss. Okay, stay up, please. Okay, good. Alright, big guns now. That's a big gun. Okay, alright. Good. I didn't really want to use that because Zeninage uses my money. It's called, normally in Final Fantasy it's called Gil Toss, but because this ability is specifically associated with the Samurai class, they gave it a Japanese name. If you noticed earlier, if you were watching on the stream, Lena did learn an ability from her samurai job called Mineuchi. I forget what it does, but all of the samurai's abilities are just Japanese words. Korvac says, how much money? I have no idea, honestly. Some amount. But the Moogle is showing me the way now. He says, don't go into the sand. You can even see here it's mobile. And then he disappears right there. Oh yes, everyone's very poisoned. I didn't take care of that during the battle because I did not want to waste that many turns on it. And I ran out of antidotes. Thankfully I have magic specifically for poison. I don't have to waste a whole bunch of MP casting Isuna. But, yes, the, geography of Galf's world is very particular. We have, shifting sand deserts. We have weird rocky crag mountains. The forests look the same, though. Where did he vanish off to? Right here. Pimimi in chat says, I am wired now. Things are much better. Still typoing a lot, though, I see. Corvax in chat says, gotta get antidotes before venturing into Viridian Forest. The Kupo Moogles are a little scared of me. This one says Kupo. Uh-oh. Lana says, look, it's the Moogle we helped. She has just met Moogles for the first time, did not even know they were a thing, and somehow can recognize them. Lena asks, are you thanking us? And the Moogle nods. And then enters its home. Pimimi says, as always, my fingers don't do what I tell them to. Oh. That's not very great. I forget if there's a special gimmick. I don't think there's a special gimmick for these chests. They're just kind of funny. So I will equip the Dancing Dagger here because it's fun. I will not equip the Dancing Dagger. I have Time Magic level 4. I don't need this. I will just have the Dark Bow equipped. Cormac says, I'm convinced keyboards troll us sometimes. It's not that I am bad at touch typing at all. No, you're definitely not bad at touch typing. And all the Moogles say Kupo. And Bart says, a Moogle costume? Try it on? And now I am playing Final Fantasy VI. Oh. What is it doing? Here we are back at the castle. Kryle notices the Moogle walk right up to her and says, what's going on? Why are you so excited? And the Moogle just says, Kupo! Corvax in chat says, I was typing a hot 18 words per minute in high school. Wow, Corvax, that's incredible. My typing speed is 100 words per minute. And then Kryle reveals that the party is in the Moogle village. The Moogles can communicate through telepathy, and we need to take this guy over to get Grandpa. Mimi says, now you have to do the 5 Moogle races. There are no Moogle races in this game. This is not Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I actually don't know if there's Moogle races in that game either. Mimi, what are you talking about? I'm not familiar with Moogle races being a thing. Korvax says it's like golf, lower numbers better. That's not true. More words per minute means more words per minute. And then the Moogle says that the Moogle Forest is at the nose. Because apparently the big forest is a Moogle sprite and it just is revealed there all of a sudden. I've never understood what that sequence was about, but Cryo finds her way here, rescues the party from being stranded. Pimimi says it's a joke about side quests. So you were joking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Corvax says steel is heavier than feathers, though. No. A kilogram of steel and a kilogram of feathers weigh the same. That's how it works. And the Moogles wave bye-bye. Very cute. I can tell why they wanted to bring them back for later Final Fantasy games. Corvax, yes. I tried to explain this earlier. I might have gotten caught up in other things, but Final Fantasy V is the first Final Fantasy game with Moogles, and that entire sequence was the first time Moogles have ever appeared in the Final Fantasy series. Pretty good introduction. They're adorable. Then the soldiers say, "King Galuf," and march in, and Galuf says, "Thanks for holding down the fort while I was gone." And the soldiers simply say, "King Galuf," again. They're only programmed to emit one line. Pimimi says, "I just looked up 1 kilogram of feathers because I couldn't decide how big the bag would be." I assume you saw that there's an entire skit of it. And as we can see here, Galuf, the party member we've had since the start of the game, is actually a king. Yep, all but Bart's are royalty, because Ferris is the crown princess of Tycoon. Missing crown princess, but crown princess nonetheless. Lena has been the crown princess for a while until Ferris was reintroduced to the kingdom. Because Ferris is Lena's older sister, and Galuf here is the king of the kingdom of Baal. And Bart says, well, he's just some guy. And now he's mocking Galuf for not having a regal, he talks like an old man instead of talking to him, instead of talking like a king. And Bart continues to make fun of Galuf. And Galuf says, "Don't push it, kid. Here in Baal, bad jokes like that will get you punished." That is how you retaliate with being mocked. The worst dad joke of all time. Pimimi says, "I can't find out. All the sites just show you the quality of the feathers as the sale picture." What? Oh, I understand what you mean now. That's very silly, because there's nothing in the pots. Is there items in the shop? I'm gonna buy a handful of ethers. That should save me from using as many elixirs. I hope. And how's my party looking? Oh, not good. Okay. In time. And of course they charge the king 50 gil. These guys are ridiculous. Corvax says, "Off with the innkeeper's head." Kind of, yeah. Oh yes, they do not let the king out. Goodness, I hope there's somewhere I can save. Korvac says, Yo! Yo! You have to pay to sleep, but you're also not allowed to leave. Yeah, this place feels kind of more like a compound. Korvac says, what kind of king is this? This is a kingdom that is under constant attack by an evil guy. And Kryl has something on her mind. Lena asks, Kryl? Kryl says, the Windrake. He's dying. Uh-oh. Kryl says he pushed himself too hard. He was wounded and he shouldn't have been flying, but he took me to find you. Gal says he sacrificed himself to save us. Varys asks the good question, is there any way for us to save him? Kryl just ... Lena says we need dragon grass. We've gone through this whole shtick before. Kryl says dragon grass, will that heal his wounds? Lena says yes, however, does such a thing even exist in this world? Varys says back home windrakes always nest near dragon grass. I expect these drakes act the same. If we go to where drakes roost, we ought to find dragon grass nearby. Varys using good logic here, and Gal says, if that's the case then... And Bart asks, well, where do we need to go? The best bet is Drakenvale. The old valley of windrakes. However, no one who's entered has ever returned. Uh-oh. Going straight into ghost story tropes now. Bartz then says, guess that means we'll be the first who do. That's the spirit, Bartz. Korvac says, I just realized the question marks are huge. Yeah, they're quite big in the font that this game uses. Gal says, Drakenvale is north of the castle. It's just past Quelb, the werewolf town. Oh yes, this world has werewolves, and they're friendly. Kryl asks, but what about the monsters outside? There's so many of them. Pshaw. No worries. We'll get past those monsters. And so I will make my way out. Oh no, this is the first floor. I leave like this. Galuf says, open the gates. And then he commands that, once we're out, you seal them shut. You know, make sure the monsters don't come in. So, they open the gate. Yes, there, it's open now. And out we go. And Galuf gives the order, alright, now close the gate and seal it. Don't let anyone inside no matter what. And the soldier says, if you so command, take care, your majesty. Galuf says, yipes, didn't take long for X-Steps creeps to get here. On your toes, kids, here they come. Yes. We get a rematch with the abductor that beat me earlier. But I have the sense it'll go a bit differently this time. Okay, I should heal my wounded party member, I think. Probably shouldn't just go straight on the offensive. This is a boss battle after all. I don't know why, but I just think that this is a normal battle. It's not. Pimmy in chat says, that is quite the pose. It is. It is. You know, just looking posed. Oh, never mind. This actually was a short battle. Oh. Well, okay. Out I go. And, I see here it's now been 2 hours. So, I'm ready to call it, for now. Thank you both for coming. I mean, Corvax, it's very easy for you to come to the stream. We live in the same house. I know that you can't be off on other errands, but Pitmimi, thank you for coming. Yeah, that'll be the stream for today. I figure I should mention, because you know, I haven't done that before. I do have a YouTube channel. I think I have it linked in the description of my Twitch channel. And I post VODs there. All of the VODs for the previous streams are up if you want to catch up. And yes, thank you for coming. I hope you... I'm lower volume like this. I am? Okay. OBS is confusing then. Yeah, basically, thank you for coming. There's VODs. And we're done here. Bye-bye.